Hello and welcome back to another Women's Rodeo World Championship live stream. Today we're coming to you on Wednesday. Last week it was a Friday. Last week was a crazy week. Huge announcement. If you haven't heard, we moved. We're not going to be at South Point in Las Vegas. We're going to be at Will Rogers Memorial Complex in Fort Worth, Texas. Probably one of the most iconic Western equine facilities in North America. And the top 6 ladies are going to be going to AT&T Stadium, where the Dallas Cowboys play, to join the PBR World Finals. Big performances on the big stage. And they're going to be handing out, we're going to be handing out $60,000 checks. So I want to welcome you. Share this thing, like it, comment on it. We want to answer your questions. Sami Jo and Scott and I will be manning the questions. And I want to introduce Bobby Mote, president of WCRA. Welcome, Bobby.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, Sami Jo Smith coming to us from Rock Springs, Wyoming. Welcome, Sami Jo.
Thank
and
you.
Scott Davis, vice president of WCRA, coming to us from Stephenville. Hello, Scott. And Sami Jo, your title is, tell me your title again, because I had it written down last week.
Associate Vice President of Athlete Initiatives.
Absolutely. And for those of you who, most of you know Sami Jo, you've interacted with her at one of our events or all of them. Sami Jo does a lot. She is responsible for the virtual rodeo qualifier. She helps us in so many areas. She keeps us straight around here, and she advocates for you. She advocates for cowboys and cowgirls, and we're all about y'all, just so you know. But today we're gonna get right to it, and we're gonna talk about money. We're going to discuss how much money you're going to be able to win at the Women's Rodeo World Championships or the WRWC. How many checks we're going to write. Bobby and Scott are going to have writer's cramp, I'm afraid, from signing all of the checks. There's a bunch of checks. Possibly talk about some other entities that we're working with during the week to try to coordinate all of our schedules. And I know I'm going off script with that a little bit, everybody. But basically, what does this thing pay? How many checks we're writing? How many times you can enter the open path, the open pool? What your entry fees are to enter that, and upcoming expanded point opportunities. A big one right at the top. We have one closing. The Oklahoma's Richest roping in Guthrie, Chris Neal's event is closing tonight at 11:59 Central Time. So go to entrytool.com to enter that thing. And anyway, Bobby, why don't you take it before I give away all the secrets?
Well, you know, we've spent a lot of time, especially on these Facebook Lives, going through the rules and, you know, how do you progress through it? But the one thing that talks is money, and how, you know, how many events are out there. I team rope a lot, and so I thumb through the Team Roping Journal, and lots of promoters have events with projected payouts. Projected payouts are always based on a lot of entries. You know, if we get over 350, we get over 500 entries, it's going to pay this. This is sort of upside down in that sense, is that we're guaranteeing $750,000. It doesn't matter how many entries that we have. And so there are 2 paths to compete here. And one is through the leaderboard, through earning points through the VRQ, which I believe most people are familiar with. And we've got an active group of people who are earning points there. But there's another way to enter also, in addition to or instead of, and that's through the open to the world pools. That is 2 separate groups. That's the open or the pros, and then that's the challengers. And we'll get into that in more detail in a minute. But the fact is, across all 4 disciplines, and keep in mind, we pay equal money in the team roping, equal money in the breakaway roping, the barrel race, and the heading and heeling. So it's all the same. and that's important. And this is year one, obviously, but it's important to us that we treat every discipline the same, give them the same opportunity. And so $750,000 guaranteed, equal money. We will pay 312 checks. And so not if we get 500 entries, not any of that. We're gonna write at least 312 checks. And so that's 312 paid positions. You average that out with all the money that we're guaranteed, that's $2,400 average check, 312 checks. And so, if you're wondering, and I live closer to Nevada, and now they moved it to Texas, and I'm not sure if I want to go or it's too far. Look, there is a ton of opportunity here. There's a lot of different ways to win money, and there are a couple other really key significant events that are going on that week as well. And so what a time to be a cowgirl. What a time to be a female rodeo athlete. And so, and all three events that we're going to talk about today are catering to female rodeo athletes. And so it's all within a really small radius too. So this is an excellent opportunity. But if you're already in the leaderboard, and so this is important, and I knew this, but it's become probably more real to me because my daughter Laura, she's probably qualified. She went to a NBHA last week in Waco, and she placed and won some money and then earned points. And those points are going to get her most likely on the leaderboard, qualified through the WCRA leaderboard. And so now she's going to double down. She's going to roll her time in the barrel racing. So the 2 runs that she makes in the WCRA leaderboard, she'll roll those times to the challenger pool. The challenger pool is comprised of barrel racers who have not won more than $30,000 any of the past 3 years. And so her odds of winning or placing there are even better. And it's probably a smaller group of people, although the pools are going to still pay the same amount of places. In the barrel racing, they're going to pay 12 places. And so the 12 fastest times are going to, over those 2 rounds, are going to get paid. In the roping events, we pay 4 places in each round and 4 in the average. That doesn't follow how we progress them, but we're talking about the money today. And so that's significant. Once you make it past there, you're in the progressive round. The progressive round pays $4,000. The main event, everybody gets a check. And obviously that's where you got to be if you want to end up in AT&T Stadium going for $60,000. So that's a high level, overview of the opportunities, but there's tremendous amount of them.
Thanks, Bobby. Scott, do you have anything to add to that? Oh, you might be muted. Are you muted on your end? Here we go. No, can't hear you yet. Okay, uno momento. Sami Jo, what would you like to add to what Bobby just teed up? I mean, $750,000 guaranteed, no matter how many entries. We're writing those checks. It's a big deal, and it's not normal. And so we're with the PBR's partnership. We're stepping out there, and we want to make this the best women's finals in rodeo, which it is and it will be. What would you add to that? Anything?
Yeah, I mean, Lisa just commented on our video and said, "You're not kidding. What a time to be a woman competing right now." And especially, we're excited about the relocation of being at Will Rogers and AT&T Stadium, and our event. I mean, the money up for grabs at our event is amazing. And then in addition to that, you have the WPRA finals, the Cowgirl Gathering event. I mean, there are so many events for women to go to just in that week that, enter today if you haven't already, because you definitely don't want to miss being one of 312 checks, that are going to be written. You absolutely have a chance of walking away with your entry fees or more. And so I just want to remind and encourage everybody that entries are open until October 25th. You can go to entrytool.com to enter. And fees right now are $750 to be in the open. And also for those of you that are participating in the leaderboard, nominating to be in the top 64 to compete in the leaderboard pool, you also have 2 chances, right? 2 additional times that you can enter in the open and have a chance at winning, every time you back in the box 3 times at max that you could be up for grabs for that money. So yeah, I mean, definitely this is just an amazing opportunity for women.
Scott, are you with it?
Can you hear me? Look at here. I mean, we were good with the wireless a minute ago, but so I apologize for that. But so I was scrambling around with that, and I missed that last little bit. But to pile on to what Bobby said, Sami Jo, when you guys were talking as I stepped out, did y'all talk at all about the final round payout?
No, let's talk about it.
Well, because, Bobby said you're going to run at 60 grand if you're in, if you make it to AT&T, but second pays 20, third 12.5, fourth 10th, fifth 7,500, and 5,000 for 6th place. So, if you do advance to that final round in AT&T, there is a ton of money up for grabs. So I just wanted to point that out. We opened up talking about money. Sure, that top gal is going to leave with a record-setting $60,000 with this guaranteed payout. But, man, what a payout for 2nd through 6th, right, guys? I mean, I think it's fantastic.
Absolutely. And those payouts are live on our site right now, aren't they?
I believe so.
Yeah, Women's Rodeo World Championship.com. And if you scroll down to what is the payout, you'll see it right there. There's a link you click into, and it kind of breaks down. Now, obviously, the payout's going to vary, right, depending on what entries end up being on October 25th. But the numbers that we're telling you right now, and that was Bobby's point earlier, are guaranteed. Regardless of, where we end up on entries, and the more we get, the better it'll get. So, yeah, I mean, the fact that $750,000 is guaranteed to 4 women's disciplines. I mean, that alone, this is one of the largest events out there, and I wouldn't want to miss it.
Absolutely. And if you all have any questions, looks like right here, this is a great question, Brooke.
Yeah, what are the leaderboard entry fees? And so for everybody that's competing in the fast track pool, which is those that have earned that nominate when you're in qualification, and then number 1 through 64 from the leaderboard in all 4 disciplines that compete in that leaderboard pool, there are no entry fees for those competing on that side. So then what we're talking about today is that additional open to the world pool. So like Brooke, if you're in the top 64, you have comp fees to compete in that WCRA leaderboard pool. And then you can also enter the open to the world up to 2 times, which it's $750 per entry. And that just gives you 2 additional runs on the open side to make it into that main event.
Yeah, and just to make sure our vernacular is good with Brooke, like comp fees means 0, zilchola. So the idea is you've been out there nominating, rodeos or jackpots, and nominating in the virtual rodeo qualifier on our tool. And so you've been making an investment to come get on the leaderboard on WCRA side. And so you shouldn't have to pay entry fees there. We're just providing an additional opportunity whereby you can enter the open side and compete in the open path and have a chance to earn another spot at that top 24 in the main event.
Well, in the barrel racing, JD, as Bobby pointed out with the example on Laura a few minutes ago, those are opportunities to roll times, right? And not even have to run your horse. So, I mean, you know, there's a variety of ways to advance here, and sometimes challenging to explain, but I'm confident that once all these ladies see the format, like lights out, watch out 2021, right? And we'll have a full year to run at that, run at the leaderboard, to run at the fast track. And so I'm super excited about, you know, folks like Brooke coming, potentially doubling down. I think it's barrel racing, but potentially doubling down and rolling a time if that is the case, right? And just cashing one more of those 300 and whatever checks we're writing, right?
Yeah,
JP, you might be muted. Or you might have the same wireless issue I had a second ago.
I did. I coughed a minute ago and I
You're
muted
back.
I'm back. Sami Jo, you want to go over some key dates that are important?
Yeah, absolutely. So last week when we announced the relocation of moving from Vegas to Texas, we did open up the opportunity for anybody that unfortunately can't make it. You do have until this Friday at 5:01 p.m. Central Time to request a refund for any of your fees with nominations or entries. And in order to do that, just contact our team at support@WCRArodeo.com. So as of Friday, everything is final. So definitely anybody that has questions about that, reach out to us. But then October 18th at 11:59 p.m. Central Time, the W20 leaderboard will cut off, which means nominations close the 18th at, you know, right before midnight. It's your opportunity to keep nominating, getting points. We'll then work at that point to finalize the leaderboard, confirm who is in the top 64, and just know that we will contact each of you directly to confirm that you did make it into the top 64. And those of you that are just outside of it, know that you will be contacted and told that you're an alternate, and you'll actually get to enter the event as an alternate. That way, if any unfortunate circumstances happen where somebody can't come, we'll start contacting the next alternates to fill the spots. So that's how it works on the leaderboard. Then, of course, October 25th at 11:59 p.m. Central, entries will close for that Open to the World pool. As I mentioned earlier, entries are open now at entrytool.com, and the entry fees are $750. And then right here, how we have October 27th through the 29th, those that make it into the leaderboard in the top 64, you will enter the event at that time. And then for anybody that missed the entry close for the 750, we will have late entries from November 2nd through the 6th, and that will be a $1,000 entry fee then. So those are our key dates. They're all at womensrodeoworldchampionship.com as well. And as always, let us know if you have questions.
Fantastic. And I'll throw up the support contact info right here. But don't forget, go to entrytool.com. You'll see the Women's Rodeo World Championships up there, and as well as the other events that entries are open for right now, like the Oklahoma's Richest. And maybe now would be a good time to talk about how are we on the schedule there, Sami Jo? Have I just skipped around horribly?
Well, I don't know if we really dove. I mean, we talked about the payout, but 312 checks, an average of $2,400 per check. I mean, I just don't want to glaze over that fact that go ahead, Scott. Were you going to say something?
Well, I was just going to say, you know, to pile on to that, every pool, every round, the pertaining aggregates, the progressive, you know, I mean, every time you back in the box or every time you run across the line, you know, is an opportunity to win a check, you know, and so obviously there'll be some ladies there that pick up multiple of the 312 paid positions, right? But because there are some very handy ladies out there, and they're going to win a couple of rounds in a row in a pool or whatever. But man, if you do the math across 4 different disciplines with 60 people in the leaderboard and, just use an X number of open to the world entries, right? I mean, you can start to add up that, and as Bobby pointed out, that's guaranteed, right? But you start to add up, and there's almost one for everybody if you can get there, and take care of business and have a good day, right? I mean, literally for woman per entry, with some of them entering multiple times in multiple disciplines, right? But there could be an opportunity here where everybody there's got a chance to get a check and take one home. So like Bobby said, listen, you guys did a fantastic job Friday talking about the venue change, the date change. That was unavoidable. And I'm sure there's some gals that are out on the West Coast, to pile on to what Bobby said a minute ago, that are like, man, it was really about me going to Las Vegas. But I would just reiterate, ladies, it's really about 312 checks and $750,000 and, an average of $2,400. I mean, look, if you have a chance to compete for that money, I don't care where you live in this inaugural year, if you'll drive down here and try your best, you've got an opportunity of having plenty of money to put fuel in your tank to get back home.
And with that, I mean, as long as you're going to drive down, you might as well go to the other events that are going on that same week also. And so, I mean, once you're here, like, this is like mega opportunity. And so the Cowgirl Gathering, if you don't know, is going to be at Stockyards. Friday they have a team roping. Saturday they have breakaway roping, and Sunday they have a barrel racing. Across those disciplines, they're adding $50,000 on top of the fees. And so there's going to be great payouts at that. The WPRA finals is going on just south of there in Waco. They have a bunch of different barrel races, and they have obviously the finals and all the WPRA roping events. And so we've got some notes from gals as soon as we announced the venue and date change last week about potential conflicts with the WPRA. And so we've been working with them. They've been working with us. Everybody's been working together. And that's fantastic. And look for an announcement tomorrow about that in detail. But I'm pretty confident that if you decide to hook up and come to Texas that week, that you'll have lots of places to go and lots of money to run at. You total it all up, it's over $1.1 million. That's a lot of money for female rodeo athletes. If we were talking about this a year ago, it would be completely unheard of. And
they laughed you out of the room.
They would have. And really, this is the biggest opportunity in female rodeo athlete sports history right here. I mean, call out a week that's better. The NFR, if you total all the barrel racing and breakaway money that's available, it's less than that. So this is open to anybody. Come on.
Hey,
best woman win.
JD. Oh, go ahead, Sami Jo. Sorry.
And yeah, the top 6, our championship round is inside of AT&T Stadium during the PBR final performances. Talk about the most electric crowd to win $60,000 in front of. I mean, I get goosebumps every time I say that out loud. I think it's just going to be so amazing to watch. So
that's in the live show, Sami Jo. I mean, it's not a before thought or an afterthought. They will feature these ladies, when they turn the lights on at the PBR World Finals, one of the largest weekends properties in Western sports, featured on CBS Sports Network and broadcast TV, right? What a huge opportunity for women in rodeo, without question. And look, the move, the unfortunate move away from South Point in Las Vegas could not have been better, because now we have the tremendous facility in the Will Rogers Memorial Center in Fort Worth. It's acres and acres of of stalls, arenas, things like that we're going to be taking advantage of. The ABBI is going to be next door competing while the ladies are competing. And the bull riders are going to be at AT&T and Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So are the ladies. So, you know, what a blessing to come from this challenging situation that was strictly related to COVID. But you couldn't have asked for a better alternative.
And keep in mind that for those of you who are in the northern country, or you're just a huge fan of women in rodeo, keep in mind that all of the qualifying rounds at the Will Rogers complex is going to be streamed on ridepass.com. So again, PBR is our partner in this. They're our media partner, and they were, quite frankly, instrumental in the creation of this event. If you remember the announcement where our CEO, Gary McKinney, and the CEO of PBR, Sean Gleason, announced this at Kansas City in February, we had been talking about it, but it was a bit of a surprise to some of us that that it was happening. And so, yeah, there's going to be a lot of women's roping and barrel racing. So
there's more significance to that statement. And if you're pretty young, maybe it goes over your head. But if you're of the generation that like JD and I were in, we were rodeoing full time, going to the NFR, and putting out about as much as we were taking in, and it was good, and we were grateful to have the opportunity. And right alongside us, a group of PBR or a group of bull riders started the PBR. Next thing you know, they're having this finals in Las Vegas. They're awarding $1 million to the world champion each year, and not to mention the guy who would win the event would win about over $400,000. They had six-figure endorsements like commonplace. They had like rock star status on media in a completely different group of people than rodeo fans. And so I have to admit, most of us were pretty envious of those guys, and we always wished that the PBR would take notice of rodeo. And so then when Randy Bernard and the PBR all got together and they started the American, that to me looked like, oh my gosh, they're getting into it. This is going to be awesome. And the American is an awesome event. Now the PBR and the American are not partners on that event anymore. But the idea of like really treating the athlete right, putting up big money, putting them in big stadiums, huge stadiums, big, biggest stadiums in the world on that type of platform. And then what the platform that CBS Network and CBS Sports brings was awesome. And so for, to wrap it all up, to know that the PBR and Endeavor has taken an interest in women's professional rodeo is pretty remarkable, because this is, in my opinion, an underserved group. Barrel racers at the NFR have had the same opportunity as the pros have. Beyond that, it hasn't been that way. And so, women make up 50% of all of these demographics, rodeo or PBR, and they have one event to root for. And now breakaway roping has come on and is done really well. And I think that a lot of different people have done their part or done what they could do to help, project it to where it is now. I know we've done a lot, and I'm grateful that everybody that's been involved has also. But to now know that the PBR says, look, here is a huge opportunity to grow a sport right here, and that women's rodeo sport. And like, don't take that lightly. That's a big opportunity. So why did you hang out $750,000 guaranteed year one? Because that's where we're starting, and we want to grow it bigger from there. So it's a big deal. It really is.
Absolutely.
Amen.
Scott, go ahead, Sami Jo. You were wanting to say something.
I just think, we're talking about this money too. And another big part of that is the $20,000 all around bonus that we're going to be awarding. And there may be several of you that are used to nominating just in your one specific discipline. So let's just say those breakaway ropers out there that grew up heading or heeling and have a comfort in team roping, enter the open in the team roping, because the all-around points, you get those from both the leaderboard pool and the open to the world pool. And so it's just a great way to accumulate as many points as you can in those multiple disciplines. And heading and heeling are considered 2 separate disciplines for the all-around. So check out our ground rules, but that $20,000 bonus, I mean, I would want to be in the running for that.
$20,000 bonus, an awesome buckle, and a coat saddle.
Yeah, coat saddle. Good point, Bob.
So I mean, those are all great opportunities. And if you're in the leaderboard, if you're qualified in the leaderboard in the breakaway roping and the team roping, you can go over and enter the open pools as well. And so all those points you accumulate, you're heading in the leaderboard and heading in the open pools or challenger, whichever, you'll earn points along the way in all those things. And those points, it's going to come down. It's going to be exciting to see who wins that all around. Is it going to be a person who runs barrels and team ropes, runs barrels and breakaways, or breakaways and team ropes, or all the above? You know, we don't know, but it's going to be fun to find out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We did have a couple questions. Can we address those just real quick? Barbara, I believe, was wanting to know about stalls. And so, yes, we do have stalls available, and you can go to openstalls.com, Barbara, and I'll try to throw that on a banner here in a little bit, but go to openstalls.com and you can actually reserve your stall right there, and we'll make sure that you get some good stalls.
JD, when will that be active?
It's actually up right now, and we're making some adjustments to a couple things, and we're waiting to see whether or not we can actually begin taking some reservations for the RV spots as well. So you can reserve your stalls right now. I'm just double checking. Let me do it live in real time and see if I can botch it up or not. Let me check first before I throw it up. I checked yesterday and it was up.
It was open yesterday. I know that. And
hey JD, while you check that, do you want to put up Brooke McGee's question about rolling over her time, and I can answer that one really quick?
Yeah, absolutely. I will throw that up there. There you go.
Awesome. So Brooke is asking that if you make the top 64 and decide to enter the open to the world, when do you have to state you're going to carry over your time or run again? So Brooke, the rollover ground rules are in the Women's Rodeo World Championship ground rules on our website. But just a quick answer to that is, before the first round of competition, everybody in the leaderboard pool does have to declare that they want to roll their time over to the open to the world. So before that first round, you'll declare for round 1 and 2, you want the time that you run in the leaderboard pool to also count for your open to the world. So that's, you know, before that first round is when you declare that, and you'll do it with either our support team or the secretary on site. And again, we'll help promote what all those ground rules are and how to do that. But yeah, before competition even starts is when you make that decision. And it's not just one round that you can choose to roll your time. If you roll your time from the leaderboard to the open, it's for both rounds of competition.
It's kind of an all-in scenario. And I think, unless I'm wrong, I think Brooke participated in the Stampede at the E. Could be wrong, could have her mixed up with somebody else, but she may have witnessed the good fortune that Tammy Seamus had, and somebody that might have been, you know, paying a little more attention to me might be able to comment. But I mean, she killed it. I think she, you know, elected to roll her times across the rounds and won money in the leaderboard and the open. We were testing some theories that we knew were going to take place in Las Vegas. And so, you know, she had great fortune. Maybe Holly Etbauer too. I don't know. I don't remember exactly if Holly had multiple horses, but some of, you know, it showed out well. And in that, just in my memory for Tammy Seamus's efforts, I think that was the case. And certainly played well for her. So if anybody was around the Stampede at the E and the way that we had the leaderboard pool and the open pools, it'll work very much similar. And we were sort of test driving that in anticipation of how it would work at Women's Rodeo World Championships. So are
you on
what a deal.
For sure. And I just want to show really quick that the rollover only applies to these qualifying rounds, the 2, 3, 4, and 5. So really what this looks like is number 2 up here for the leaderboard and 3 for the qualifier rounds. That is the run. So your number 2 run will be the same time as your number 3 run, right? So you'll run that leaderboard. It'll count for the Open to the World. And then same thing with your second run, this number 4, that time will be the same for your Open to the World over here. But then once you progress into the Elite 18 and the progressive round, at that time, you'll have to make every run. You can't roll times any further in the competition. So just this leaderboard and qualifier round is where you can roll those times and have more chances. And Brooke, yeah, Ariana Flynn, she rolled her time too at Stampede at the E. You were right.
Thanks, Brooke. Awesome. Great. Let me answer Barbara's question. And the answer is yes, absolutely. We have stalls available. And if you can see up in the top there, you just go to openstalls.com and it's really slick. Basically go to book now. There's the Women's Rodeo World Championships. Click book now, sign in. If you don't have an account, it's free to set up an account and just need your email and then create a password and click sign in. And then there's the Women's Rodeo World Championships, and you just simply go down through here. I'll just do it right now. Say I want a couple stalls. I'm going to check in on the 8th, and I'm going to check out on, I'm making it all the way to the show.
Absolutely. That boy. I was going to see it. I was going to see how deep you were going to cut it. That boy. I'm staying the whole time, baby.
I'm going to be there for the duration. This price might change a little bit because this was a carryover price from South Point. It might stay the same, but just know that if it does change and it's less money, that we'll refund you if you have already made your reservation. If it's the same, obviously it will be the same, but you can get stall mat. If you want a stall mat, you can get extra, you can get your shavings here, 3 bags of shavings. And then basically you can just check out right here. I don't want any here. Anyway, it's pretty simple.
Yeah, and that main stall barn's climate controlled. The price is for the week.
Yeah. Cool. So that's that.
And that app is mobile formatted, so you don't have to go on a desktop like JD just demonstrated. You can do it also on your phone.
Correct.
Great point. And JD, I would just say that I know the operations team, Casey Duggan, and they've been working with the folks at Will Rogers. And I would project that we would certainly have, if not absolutely finalized, we certainly have some more information on any changes related to the stall booking and the RV opportunities that we're subject to have at Will Rogers that we did not have in Las Vegas. I think all of that information is likely to be available by this time next week, in time for your weekly Facebook Live. So anybody listening today that's curious about that, listen next week, and you should have all of the details about the RV add-ons. And Will Rogers is a great place to serve as home base at your time in Fort Worth. And listen, in our relationship with the Cowgirl Gathering, it's worth mentioning we'll be working with them on the stalls. So any of the ladies that are going to rope on Friday in the team roping, or Saturday in the breakaway, even Sunday in the barrels, will be able to, lay over, if you will, accordingly and maintain your stalls there, or book other stalls if you've got other horses coming, that kind of thing. So, Will Rogers can serve as home base, even if you're doing a little back and forth down to Waco for the WPRA event. So I'm glad she asked that question.
Yeah, and JD, I'll answer Becky's question. So Becky, and for anybody else that has won a nominate when you're in or that fast track qualification, just know that our team will be in contact with you directly about your complimentary stall. So just to review, anybody that's number 1 through 4 on the leaderboard, once we finalize the leaderboard after October 18th, and then any of those nominate when you're in qualifiers, you all get 1 complimentary stall per athlete. And so if you need additional stalls on top of that 1, you can go to openstalls.com right now, reserve your additional stalls. And then, yeah, our team will work with you to give you that complimentary stall and make sure that all of your stalls are together. So definitely don't go to Open Stalls and book any of those free stalls. We'll work with you directly on that.
All right. What now, everybody?
Well, JD, I wanted to address Lisa's comment about time to move from the East Coast. I would say, hey, that just if you're still listening, Lisa, you don't have to move. Just come for a week, right? Take a little time off work. Bring a sack full of dinero, multiple entry here, enter at the Cowgirl Gathering, and then head back to the East Coast with an even bigger sack full of money. So you don't have to move. You can nominate right where you live. You can get on the leaderboard, potentially in the top 64. Very little time left. But, I mean, hey, the opportunity essentially is worldwide. So it doesn't matter where you live. There's a great opportunity to win money here if you're competitive. And we'll see you once a year for the Women's World Championship. So don't worry about relocating. Just come on to Texas for a week in November and enjoy the fun.
Next year, she said. Great. And Becky said thanks. So thank you, Becky. And obviously, Sami Jo and the support team. Lisa said next year for sure. So, all right. We're going to hold you to that.
That's right. Write it down. Sami Jo doesn't forget anything. We'll be looking for Lisa on the top of the leaderboard next year.
Yes.
Marcus, thank you, Marcus. So the VRQ, Virtual Rodeo Qualifier, we haven't talked about nominating very much today because, you know, I guess we assume that everybody knows about it, which is a bad assumption. But if you can still nominate to get in that top 64 on the leaderboard. And you do that by going to app.wcrarodeo.com. And I will pull that up right now. App.wcrarodeo.com. Anywhere you're going, any of these regional rodeo finals that you're competing at, you know, in the mixed team roping, if you're roping with your husband or a friend or your boyfriend, nominate that sucker. Those points count to get you on the leaderboard in the heading or the heeling discipline. And again, equal money, one header and one heeler they're gonna win $60,000 in the big house in Arlington. And wouldn't you love it to be you? I mean, come on.
Right. Well, and Sami Jo, talking about the nominations, would it be, I don't want to just drop this on you, but would it be a good time to quickly review the upcoming events? I don't know if you have an image for that this week or not, but now might be a good time just to reiterate some remaining opportunities as the door closes pretty quickly in 12, 15 days here, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, JD, if you have those. So let's go to the bottom one first, the upcoming expanded point opportunities. So coming up October 16th and 17th, the Oklahoma's Richest Roping. As JD mentioned, entries for that event close tonight. So at
enter now, expanded points.
PSA, enter now. So And that's not only the Challenger Ladies Breakaway and the Open Ladies Breakaway. Those are the two upcoming expanded point events for the breakaway roping. But at entrytool.com, every single class that is at Oklahoma's Richest Roping is open. And again, those entries close tonight. So go to entrytool.com, make sure you enter. But for that Challenger Ladies Breakaway and the Open Ladies Breakaway, we will be awarding 20 places in every paid round for points. And every single person that enters that event is nominated because your nomination is included in your entry fee. So expanded points will be awarded, as well as that fast track qualification, which is that bonus run. You're competing against up to 16 other girls, and the top 4 go right into the main event. So
no fees.
No fees.
Right, no fees. Yeah, it's
and two, Sami Jo, just to pile on, Oklahoma's Richest has 10,000 added in open breakaway. Huge deal that Chris Neal's producing, great partner of ours. Enter that event. Tons of big opportunity here in the immediate.
Yeah. Thanks, Rob. You're reading our mind, buddy. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, just a reminder, when we had that first expanded point opportunity in Rapid City, we added, I think it was almost 100 new girls to the leaderboard. So with awarding those 20 points in every paid round, that's just, again, anytime you're backing into the box, you're roping for money and you're roping for points. So definitely get entered tonight. For that.
Yeah.
And then for the team ropers, we have the Texas Fall Championships coming up October 9th in here, Texas. And this, for the team roping, Kenny Zamora and Sherry Hamilton are putting on an open to the world team roping. That's $1,000 added there as well. And that WCRA Challenger roping, which is the 9.5 incentive, capped at a number 5 header and healer. And entries are open until October 2nd, which, believe it or not, is only 2 days away. And so again, entrytool.com. And the Texas Fall Championships, again, we're awarding those up to 20 positions in all paid rounds, which is every single round. And that fast track qualification will be given there. And then same thing, the World Series. So let's jump up to that barrel racing for the nominate when you're ins. There we are. So Kenny Zamora's event, he also has the World Series Barrel Race Open Finale, which is October 9th as well. And your nomination is included in your entry fee. And we're giving away that fast track qualification at his event. And then same in the breakaway roping. I just want to stay on Decatur really quick, JD. Okay. Sorry, I know you're putting the box there, but if you'll jump down to the breakaway roping.
Come on, Sami Jo.
I know, I'm killing you. The first 2 events here are also in Decatur at the World Series, and he has that open breakaway. That's the last chance qualifier into the finale, and then the actual finale on the 9th. And both of those you can enter today at entrytool.com. Your entry includes your nomination. Fast track qualification is going to be awarded at all 4 of those events. So definitely want to have Decatur, Texas, October 8th through the 9th on your calendar. And then we've already talked about Oklahoma's Richest, as mentioned in the Open and the Challenger. We'll be giving away those fast track qualifications. And then lastly, in the breakaway roping, Alva, Oklahoma, October 18th, literally the last day to earn points for the W20 segment. Stockton Graves and his team is putting on the rope for the Roses Open Breakaway. You can enter that today at entrytool.com. Your nomination is included in your entry fee, and that fast track qualification will be given away there. And then we'll jump back up to the barrel racing, JD, because all you barrel racers out there, the Stockyards Championship Rodeo.
Hold on a sec, Sami Jo. Let's talk about Dale. Dale called this out. Dale Davis is on our team, And he's talking about which roping specifically, Sami Jo. I think I know.
So
the built-in nominations are for sure the Rope for the Roses.
Well, yeah, and it says for breakaway roping, it's every single one.
Right.
So the World Series, Open, and Finale. If you enter at entrytool.com, your nominations included for both of those Oklahoma Riches, the Open and the Challenger, and then the Rope for the Roses. If you go to entrytool.com, enter yourself there today. And it is that Dale's point is so valid. It's a discounted nomination is included in your entry fee.
That's right. That's right. Great. Thank you, Dale. And I think we had, where is it on the website? So Brooke's wanting to know where this information is on the website.
Yeah, so we've shared all of these graphics on our Facebook page.
Okay.
And then also if you go to women, actually, I have my screen shared right now, JD.
Okay. There you go.
So if you go to the Women's Rodeo World Championship.com, and if you scroll down here to where it says nominate when you're in, click the drop down, and all of the events that we've had. So those of you that have already qualified are listed here. And then if you scroll down to the bottom of each discipline, you'll see those upcoming events. So JD, I would go back to our graphics just because it's a little easier to read.
Yes, ma'am. There you go.
So in the barrel racing, if you'll jump up there, we've got the Stockyards Championship Rodeo coming up this weekend, the 2nd and 3rd. That will be that fast track qualifier. For these, we're not taking the entries, so you do need to go into the VRQ app.wcrarodeo.com and nominate yourself. The winner of these events, so long as they're nominated, will earn their points and then earn that fast track qualification. And then, of course, you'll still receive your points if you did not win the event. And then on October 3rd, we have the Tejas Open Rodeo as well in Bulverde. And same thing, you need to go into the VRQ to nominate yourself for that event. So that's the barrel racing, breakaway roping, fast track qualifiers. And then we've already talked about the team roping. But just one more reminder, that World Series, the Fall Championships, 9.5, which is our challenger, and the Open, go to entrytool.com before October 2nd and enter yourself there and get that discounted nomination, which is included in your entry fee.
That's right. Let's catch up here. Brooke, I hope you're able to find it. Let's see here. Georgianne is one of our field reps, and she's awesome. She said, come see us at the Tejas Rodeo in Bulverde and Decatur and at the Stockyards in Fort Worth. And she'll help you nominate and answer any questions that you have. So Georgianne is super friendly. She doesn't bite. Go find her, and she'll help you.
And JD, for it, like those are fast track qualifiers, right? So, I mean, ladies, pay attention. As Bobby pointed out a second ago, you nominate those events, you win them, then you are in the fast track with no entry fees to run against, up to 15 other girls for 4 spots, up to 4 spots to go right into the main event. So lots of opportunity in the next couple weeks in the barrel racing, as well as breakaway and team roping, but lots of opportunity at the barrel racing.
And just a reminder on the fast track, we're taking a maximum of 16 athletes per discipline for all 4 disciplines. And we're going to take a maximum of 4 per discipline straight into the main event. So you show up early and you do good in the fast track, and you're in the top 4 out of up to 16. You're into the main event, and you're set up great for big money.
Yeah, I want to address really quick the challenger versus the open, especially like for Chris Neal's event. And then also when you're entering the Women's Rodeo World Championship, if you haven't been following along and paying attention to what does it mean to be a challenger? How do I know if I'm a challenger? JD, if you'll share my screen again. at Women's Rodeo World Championship. Right here at the top,
Can you make it a little bigger, Sami Jo, please?
Absolutely. So right here at the top, if you scroll down in these black bubbles, it says challenger information. If you click that, it'll take you into the classification page. And as you scroll down, you can see it gives you a brief description of what a challenger means. And then for each discipline, we have these graphics here that show if your earnings for each year are below these amounts and you check all 3 of these boxes, you're a challenger. And I just want to say, probably the best thing is if you're really not sure, contact our team at support@WCRArodeo.com and we'll help answer your questions and let you know whether you're a challenger or a pro. So, but yeah, when you go to enter Women's Rodeo World Championship, you will choose whether to enter the open pool or the challenger pool. And so we just want to make sure you get entered into the correct class. So always reach out to our team first and we can help you.
Sami Jo, I want to make sure I have this right. Our friends over at the Tejas Rodeo, that's a fast track qualifier upcoming in the barrel racing. Is that correct?
Yes.
If I put you on the spot and you had to guess, what's a nomination at Tejas Rodeo?
$50.
$50 nomination. You win that rodeo. You're in the fast track, no entry fees. If you place in the fast track in Fort Worth, if you place in the fast track top 4, you win $500. You advance to the main event. Everyone in the main event gets paid. If you fell off your horse in the main event, right, you still get $750, right? So a $50 nomination at this upcoming Tejas Rodeo on 10-3, right, gets you an opportunity right here, right out of the gate at $1,250, like worst case scenario with one good run. Easy math for me. You know, I mean, you do have to be a biological female, so I'm out of business. But I'm getting off Facebook Live and interrupt my wife long trotting that barrel horse and let's get down to business.
Well, and it's important. Nominate, win, and you're in. The acronym that we talk about internally a lot is just basically means if you go to Bulverde, enter the barrel race, win the event, and you nominate it, you're in the fast track. And so it's simple, dimple. It's simple as that.
With up to a maximum of 15 other girls, you're going to run and the barrel racing and fast track one time, roping 2 head, right? So you're going to get one run against 15 other girls to go to the main event. It's easy for me, gang. I hope folks are still listening. I know we're pressing on that hour, but I just wanted to say that out loud and make sure I was processing it right. Thanks, Sami Jo.
Thanks for watching, Lauren. And that's cool. You're watching it in the high-speed cattle truck. Nice. Howdy to you. So drop a question in. We have a couple more minutes. If nobody has any more questions, we'll sign off and be out of here. Bobby, we haven't heard from you in a little bit, so let me get rid of my screen here and kind of go back to full screen here. What do you have any parting words?
Well, one of these times I'm going to figure out how to get my internet connection to be a little more high quality so it stops freezing up. I've been holding the same pose for most of this whole live stream.
Well, you're just still really into that mannequin challenge.
Yeah, and I can't figure out why because I've unplugged everything except for this computer. But, anyways, no, just you guys touched on all of it. Really, there's a lot of opportunities. It's a huge week, and it's all in the effort to build something great for women's rodeo. I mean, that's it. And so as far as nominating goes, it's not too late. I mean, the fast track qualifiers, the expanded points opportunities are alone enough to get you in for a chance for this money with no entry fees. So, I mean,
that's a great point, Bobby. And expanded points in the next, couple weeks here could make a big difference in the leaderboard. So if you're just chilling out at the lower end of the top 64, thinking you're going to book your stall in Fort Worth, make sure your horse stays legged up and ready, and get out there and nominate a couple more events. Better yet, go Bull Verde if you're in Texas and get that fast track spot.
Well, and here's the thing: is a lot of people don't understand a few things about the leaderboard and about the points. One, they don't know what a lot of points are. They don't know if 100 points is a lot or a little, because it's different than what they're used to, $1 a point. And so you can use the points calculator on the website at WCRArodeo.com, and you can do a little homework if you want and say, okay, the rodeo I'm going to, or the race I'm going to, or the jackpot I'm going to is a D3 or a D4, and I think it's going to take this many rounds. You can plug it into the points calculator. It'll tell you what's available. But my daughter went to an NBHA last week in Waco, won the 2D in one round, and ended up with enough points to most likely make it in. So, I mean, that's not moving heaven and earth. I mean, how many of the barrel racers are going to go to a 4D jackpot this weekend? My wife and daughter are going to go to one tonight in Atlanta. So, I mean, they're around. There's opportunities, and you're not limited by an association or qualifiers. These qualifiers that we just listed are an awesome opportunity because there's extra benefits at them. But if you're somewhere far east, far west, far north, and you can't make it to them, then by all means, use the BRQ and give yourself a chance, because you won't know how much you can win unless you go. I mean, that's one thing for certain, is you won't win a nickel if you don't enter. And the way to get in there is to earn points, get on the leaderboard, and or enter. And so, at some point, third week in November, you're going to be seeing on social media all these ladies that we're promoting. Some of them you maybe had heard of, some of them that you had never heard of, that won big checks and got a lot of recognition. Our social media crew does an awesome job of helping to try to make stars out of these people, not just the well-known ones, but the unknown ones, which helps with your opportunity for endorsements, and everybody likes to be recognized. So, lots and lots of opportunities, and we're here for you. And so hope to see you in November in Fort Worth.
Absolutely. I have a fun game. If we're done, Scott, do you have any parting words?
I think Bobby summed it up.
Great. So let's see. Let's put our hands in the middle, and let's bust out of here.
Oh gosh. Which way?
All right. In the middle, Bobby. Well, Scott's just covered it up. 1, 2, 3, break. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Adios, everybody.
Share this thing, would you? Please get it out there. Thank you so much.
Thanks, y'all.
Bye-bye.